Chosen one, stop what you are doing right now and lock every part of your attention onto my voice. That sudden urge you feel to scroll past this message is not random. Resist it. The enemy has been working overtime for one reason, and one reason only. And because he knows exactly what shifts the moment you finally hear these words, he is desperately trying to distract you. You did not find this by accident. The Holy Spirit brought you here today for a divine appointment scheduled before the foundations of the earth. I know exactly what the last few weeks have felt like for you. You are waking up at 3 or 4 in the morning, your eyes open wide in the dark. A strange weight presses down on your chest, and while you try to explain this deep spiritual heaviness to the people around you, absolutely no one seems to understand what you are going through. You walk through your own home and feel like a stranger. The atmosphere around you has been incredibly heavy this entire week. It feels thick. It feels tense. It almost feels like the air itself is waiting for something to happen. You enter a room and suddenly conversations just stop. Because they sense a massive shift in your frequency, they quietly pull away without giving you any real explanation for their sudden absence. The silence is deafening. You have been carrying this low hum of anxiety for days. But let me tell you the absolute truth right now. That feeling pressing against your ribs is not anxiety. It is spiritual activation. You are sensing the quiet moments right before a massive breakthrough. And even though you have been waiting for heaven to move in your life for what feels like an eternity, the silence you hear is actually the sound of preparation. You feel entirely isolated. You feel misunderstood by the world. You give so much to everyone else but receive so little in return. This season of waiting has made you question your own mind. You wonder if you did something wrong. You wonder if heaven simply forgot about you. But this deep isolation is the exact proof that a grand design is unfolding behind the scenes. The enemy wants you to stay in this dark place of confusion. He wants you to believe that your current struggles are a permanent life sentence. Do not fall for it. His entire kingdom trembles at the thought of you waking up, because the moment you truly understand the vast power placed inside your hands, his entire assignment against your life will completely collapse. I am speaking to you today to bring absolute clarity to your confusion. In the next few minutes, I am going to reveal exactly why this painful season of waiting was never a punishment. I will show you how heaven cleared the room. I will explain why the crowd had to leave. The divine plan required empty space, so you could finally hear the truth without any earthly interference. I will also expose the specific lie that has been keeping you trapped. The enemy whispered that you were too sensitive and too deep for this world. He told you that your unique nature was a massive flaw. But we are going to tear down that deception right here and right now. You will see how your deepest wounds were actually preparing you for a legendary assignment. And at the very end of this message, I will give you something crucial. I am going to guide you through a powerful declaration that seals the blessing you are about to receive. You will place your hand on your heart. You will speak the words out loud. And as you make this sacred decree, the invisible chains holding you back will shatter into 1,000,000 unrecoverable pieces. This is why you must stay with me. Do not click away. Do not let distractions steal this moment from you. The algorithm did not place this video on your screen. A divine mandate brought my voice to your ears at the exact second you needed hope. If you leave before the end, you walk away before the final verdict is delivered. Your breakthrough is hiding in these next few minutes. Let us address the heavy silence you have been living in right now. You look around your life and see nothing but empty chairs. The people you trusted have suddenly drifted away, and while you sit in this incredibly quiet space, you feel completely forgotten by the universe, as if your earnest prayers are hitting a solid ceiling. You wonder if you made a terrible mistake, but I am here to reframe your entire reality today. That deep isolation you have been calling a punishment was never a punishment. It was a holy preparation. You thought heaven was rejecting your constant prayers, You honestly believed the Creator was ignoring your desperate cries for help. But the absolute truth is that heaven was aggressively clearing the room so you could step into your authentic power. God had to remove the noisy crowd so he could finally speak to you. Think about the endless distractions that used to consume your daily energy. You were constantly pouring yourself out for people who only took from you. You were trapped in a vicious cycle of trying to please everyone else. And if that chaotic noise had continued for another year, you would never have heard the quiet whisper of your true calling. The silence is actually a massive divine shield. We find this exact pattern written in the ancient spiritual texts. Look at the book of Hosea, chapter 2, verse 14. It holds a powerful secret about your current season of isolation. The scripture says that God will lead his chosen ones into the barren wilderness. He will strip away the familiar earthly comforts and bring them into a desolate land where they have absolutely nothing else to rely on. And there he will speak tenderly to their heavy hearts. The wilderness is never a place of starvation or permanent death. It is the sacred training ground for the truly anointed ones. When you are surrounded by the loud opinions of the normal world, your spiritual frequency gets completely scrambled. You start living according to human expectations, shrinking your massive potential just to make sure you do not offend the comfortable people around you. So heaven had to pull you into the quiet wilderness to recalibrate your soul. Every closed door was actually a divine redirection. Every relationship that suddenly ended was heaven actively protecting your future. You cried bitterly over people who were secretly draining your spiritual power. You mourned the loss of familiar jobs and environments that were keeping you completely stagnant. But you must understand that your old environment could never sustain the massive weight of the blessing that is rapidly coming toward you today. What you are about to receive requires a completely different foundation. If heaven poured new wine into your old life, everything would violently break. Your previous vessel was simply not strong enough to hold the new glory. The massive blessing would literally crush you under its immense weight. So this painful stripping away process was absolutely necessary. You are not losing your mind today. You are simply being emptied out so you can be refilled. Your isolation is not evidence of your ultimate disqualification. It is the greatest evidence of your divine selection. The universe does not waste premium spiritual training on people with ordinary or average assignments. Your purification process has been incredibly intense. This only proves the vast magnitude of your calling. It shows that you carry a rare mantle. You are being set apart for a sacred mission that requires absolute clarity. You no longer need external permission to exist. The people who walked away were simply making room for the incredible destiny you are about to step into. And while this powerful reframe brings immense relief, there is something even deeper operating beneath the surface. Coming up in just a moment, I will reveal the hidden blueprint. But first, let this profound truth anchor your weary spirit. Now that you understand your isolation is a sacred design, we must look at the blueprint. You are not the first chosen one to walk this lonely road. Every great spiritual leader faced the exact same wilderness. They were completely separated from everyday society. Heaven required this intense separation before handing them their ultimate assignment, because a massive calling always requires an empty room. The pattern is absolutely undeniable. Look closely at the story of Moses. He was raised in a royal palace, surrounded by luxury and massive crowds. But heaven could not use him while he lived in that environment. So he was driven out into the desolate desert where the noise of the world could no longer reach him. The royal palace was simply too loud. He traded his royal status for a lonely life tending sheep. Moses spent 40 years in total obscurity. He thought his life was completely over. He felt completely forgotten by the world and abandoned by his grand destiny while he wandered through the dry sand for decades. But then he encountered the burning bush. God finally spoke to him clearly because the desert stripped away every earthly distraction. He received his mantle only when the room was empty. This is the exact process you are experiencing right now. Your season of painful waiting is your personal burning bush moment. The universe is aggressively removing the noisy palace from your life. You are being conditioned to hear a much higher frequency. The people who left you were simply the background noise that heaven needed to silence before giving you new instructions. You are being prepared. Now consider the young shepherd named David. When the prophet came to his house to find a new king, David was not invited. His own family completely forgot about his existence. He was out in the distant fields, completely alone. He spent his days watching sheep in total isolation. But heaven saw exactly where he was hiding, and the great anointing happened in complete secret away from jealous eyes. While David was alone, he fought deadly lions. Nobody saw his massive struggles. Nobody clapped for his victories. He built his spiritual muscle in the dark. The invisible battles you fight today are just like David fighting the fierce lion. While you sit crying alone fighting heavy spiritual attacks, you are actually building the exact resilience needed to carry your blessing. Your silent victories are proving your readiness to the Creator. Heaven is watching how you handle the unseen warfare. You are surviving what should have broken you. The heavy trauma you endured was supposed to destroy your spirit. But instead of letting the pain ruin you, it developed a profound resilience deep inside your soul that nothing can ever take away. You are passing the test in the dark. Think about Joseph for a moment. He was betrayed by his brothers and thrown into a pit. He was falsely accused and locked away in a foreign prison for years. He was completely cut off from everything he ever knew, sitting in that terrible isolation, wondering why his innocent soul was forced to suffer so much. But that cold prison was actually a divine waiting room, designed to elevate him. Joseph eventually walked out of prison and stepped directly into massive authority. His isolation birthed a wisdom that literally saved nations from starving. The spiritual pattern never changes for chosen ones, because heaven knows that a person who has never been tested in the dark cannot be trusted to lead in the light. The universe digs a deep foundation when it plans to build a massive skyscraper. You are standing on the edge of a massive transformation. Your wilderness season has done its perfect work, clearing away the debris of your past so you can step forward. Once this truth clicks into place, you must prepare for the next revelation. There is another layer explaining why people suddenly turned against you. Coming up next, I will expose the hidden reason. But first, let this settle. Here is the part that confuses so many chosen ones today. You survived the lonely wilderness for many long years. You built your massive spiritual strength in the dark. And right as you feel heaven preparing to bless you, your entire social circle suddenly collapses. Your closest friends unexpectedly stop calling your phone. The people you love the most pull away without any clear warning. You feel entirely abandoned right before the final finish line. This painful exit is never a random coincidence. It is a powerful spiritual mechanism that I call the spiritual decline effect. As your soul undergoes this massive upgrade, your internal frequency rapidly shifts to a much higher level. And while this profound change happens inside you, the people who were comfortable with your broken version can no longer tolerate your new light. They feel incredibly uncomfortable around your rising energy. You must understand how spiritual energy actually works. Light and dark simply cannot exist in the exact same room. When your spiritual vibration rises, it automatically exposes the trauma hiding deeply inside the people around you. They do not even know why they are pulling away. Their souls simply recognize that they cannot manipulate your kind heart anymore. Your bright light literally hurts their sensitive eyes. They are not actually rejecting your true identity. They are grieving the old version of you that they are about to lose forever. The people who leave are deeply terrified of the massive power you are stepping into right now. They want the broken person who always sacrificed everything just to keep them happy, because your suffering made them feel superior. But heaven will never let you shrink back to fit into their small boxes again. The Supreme Creator knows exactly what your massive blessing requires. If heaven gave you the ultimate breakthrough while those toxic connections remained close, those greedy people would drain your new blessing completely dry. They would violently consume the very gift heaven carefully designed for your future. So the universe must forcibly remove them from your daily path. The sudden isolation is actually absolute divine protection. You must stop crying over these permanently closed doors. You must stop trying to chase down the people who walked away from you during this season. What is leaving your life right now is simply making room for what is truly meant for you. You cannot carry your new royal mantle while dragging the heavy chains of your painful past, and you must trust that every sudden exit is actively preparing your ultimate arrival. This is exactly why the atmosphere in your home feels incredibly strange. The physical space around you is quickly adjusting to your brand new frequency. You feel tense because your physical body is trying to catch up with your rapid elevation. Your mind is completely exhausted because you are downloading massive amounts of divine wisdom while you sleep. These strange symptoms are absolute proof of the internal upgrade. The spiritual decline effect always happens right before the ultimate breakthrough. When the familiar crowd completely disappears, the grand manifestation is standing right at your front door. The heavy silence is the loud announcement that your season of painful waiting is finally over. But there is something else happening in the spiritual realm that you cannot see, and the defeated enemy is frantically watching this incredible transformation happen. He is absolutely terrified of what you are becoming. Once you accept that these sudden departures are pure divine protection, you are ready for the next massive revelation. The intense spiritual warfare around you is about to make perfect sense. Coming up next, I will show you exactly why the enemy is panicking. I will reveal the specific frequency shift that is causing absolute chaos in the spiritual realm. But first, you must let this powerful truth anchor your weary soul. You must look at the unseen realm today. Something massive is shifting in the spiritual atmosphere around you. You are vibrating at an entirely new frequency. And this sudden shift is causing absolute panic in the dark places because the enemy realizes his old tactics are failing. He sees the heavy chains breaking off your life. He is completely terrified. He has lost control. The intense warfare you face is never a sign of weakness. It is the greatest proof of your massive spiritual power. The dark forces do not waste premium attacks on average people. They launch heavy assaults against those who carry a grand assignment, pouring resources into stopping the ones destined to break generational curses. If you were broken, the enemy would leave you alone. You always thought your deep sensitivity was a terrible burden. The world told you to hide your intense feelings. They called you too deep and too much. But what you carry is not a wound. It is a highly calibrated spiritual weapon designed to sense unseen danger long before it arrives. That deep sensitivity is a divine radar. You were built for a different frequency. This new frequency explains the sudden chaos in your daily life. When you operate at this massive level of light, darkness simply cannot remain hidden. The toxic people around you start acting strangely without any logical reason. Your pure energy forces their hidden demons to the surface, and they project their deep insecurities onto you. They cannot stand your brilliant glow. The enemy thought his intense pressure would finally break your spirit. He used rejection and heavy betrayal to crush your soft heart. But his wicked strategy completely backfired on him. Instead of destroying your beautiful soul, the intense fire only forged your spirit into unbreakable steel that can never be shattered by human hands. Heaven used their actions to develop your strength. You are a massive threat to the corrupt systems of this world. You do not even have to speak a single word. Your quiet presence alone shifts the heavy atmosphere of any room you enter. The dark forces recognize your divine authority before you realize you have it, and they scramble in fear whenever you show up. This is exactly why you face unusual opposition. You carry the royal mark. Stop believing the cruel lie that you are somehow failing. The heavy exhaustion you feel is not a symptom of defeat. You are simply exhausted from upgrading your spiritual hardware while navigating a very dense physical world. Your physical body needs time to integrate this massive download of divine light, so you must learn to rest without feeling guilt. Rest is absolutely essential. Every attack against your mind is proof that you are winning. The resistance is always the highest right before you cross the finish line. The enemy is screaming loud lies because he has absolutely no real power left over your destiny. His loud noise is nothing but a desperate illusion meant to distract you from your ultimate victory. You are completely untouchable. Your victory is secure. Your spiritual frequency has been permanently altered forever. You can never go back to the small life you once lived. And once this profound truth clicks into place, everything begins to shift. But there is still another layer beneath this revelation that you must uncover before the blessing arrives. Coming up next, we will dive into your true empowerment. Let this reality settle. You are no longer the misunderstood victim in this grand story. You are the chosen one who carries the heavy mantle of breakthrough. For years, you waited for someone to validate your deep spiritual gifts, hoping the world would finally recognize the brilliant light shining inside your soul. But your divine authority never required human validation. You are currently standing right between two entirely different identities. The old version of you is rapidly dissolving into the background, and the powerful new identity that heaven is birthing is finally stepping forward into the light. This massive transition feels incredibly awkward and heavy because you are shedding an old skin that simply no longer fits your growing spirit. You do not need anyone to give you permission to be great. The universe has already crowned you in the absolute dark. The Supreme Creator placed a massive royal seal upon your life, while the loud crowd was busy ignoring your existence. You can stop waiting for an invitation to take your rightful place. Your inherent authority was woven into your soul long before your birth. Every tear you cried in the lonely wilderness was an investment in your future. You survived the most intense spiritual training course ever designed by heaven, and now the universe is commanding you to pick up your heavy mantle and walk boldly forward. Your quiet voice carries immense spiritual weight right now. When you finally speak, the unseen atmosphere immediately shifts to align with your words. The ultimate blessing you have been waiting for is not delayed. It is already in motion and heading directly toward your front door, moving faster than your logical mind can currently comprehend. You simply have to stand firm and be completely ready to receive it. The heavy days of constantly begging heaven for a single drop of relief are over. You are stepping into an endless ocean of divine abundance. Your brilliant light will soon become a massive beacon for others. People who are lost in the dark will look to you for absolute guidance. They will see the deep peace resting upon your life and wonder how you survived the raging storm. You will lead them safely home because you already walked the lonely road when nobody else would. This is exactly why your deep sensitivity is a massive supernatural weapon. You are transmitting a healing frequency into a very broken world. The immense pain you endured gave you the profound empathy required to heal the shattered hearts around you. You are a living testament to the absolute power of divine restoration. Your glowing scars are your greatest badges. Some rare messages do not just inform your busy mind. They actively shift your entire spiritual frequency to a much higher level. Before you go any further today, gently press the like button so this blessing can reach someone else who desperately needs hope tonight. Your simple action helps heaven deliver this exact confirmation to another chosen one sitting in the dark. When you share this light, you prove that your heart remains pure. You are not holding on to the blessing with a greedy or selfish grip. You are allowing the divine energy to flow freely through your open hands to bless others. And heaven always pours massive resources into hands that remain perfectly open, knowing you will use the blessing to elevate the people around you. Your generosity accelerates your own arrival. You have finally accepted your beautiful royal identity. You understand the profound power resting heavily upon your shoulders today. And once that beautiful reality clicks into place, you are ready for the next massive revelation. Coming up next, I will show you how the universe uses intense fire to forge the strongest weapons. But first, let this powerful truth settle. You must look at the immense pressure you recently endured. It felt like you were burning alive. The heat was absolutely unbearable, but you were never thrown into a random incinerator designed to completely destroy your beautiful soul. You were placed inside a sacred crucible. The master blacksmith uses extreme heat to gently burn away every single impurity hiding deep inside the solid gold. The fire only removes what is fake. You are a rare and heavy spiritual weapon, and a master sword is never forged by gently tapping the cold metal with a soft hammer. It requires brutal and consistent strikes. The blacksmith hits the glowing steel over and over again until it reaches absolute perfection. You felt those heavy blows when people suddenly walked away from you. Every painful exit was simply a deliberate hammer strike, shaping your ultimate destiny. You are becoming unbreakable. Now consider the dark isolation you have been sitting in. You thought this quiet room was a cold grave meant to bury your massive potential. You felt completely trapped, but that heavy darkness was actually a divine womb. Think about the caterpillar entering the dark cocoon before it can finally fly. It does not just grow beautiful wings in a few short days, it completely dissolves into liquid first. It loses its entire original identity. The old version of the creature is entirely destroyed in the dark. This is exactly what happened to your soul during this incredibly painful season. You were forced to let go of everything you thought you knew. The universe dissolved your old mindset entirely, and it quietly melted away your previous human attachments while you sat in the silent room. The dark space was simply the quiet incubator where heaven assembled your massive new wings. You were never dying. You were transforming. We see this exact same epic pattern in the wild. The mighty eagle eventually reaches a point where its heavy feathers become too old to fly properly. The powerful bird becomes extremely slow. The sharp beak becomes dangerously dull. And to survive this terrible physical decline, the eagle retreats to a high mountain completely alone. It violently smashes its own beak against the hard rocks until it shatters, and it plucks out its own heavy feathers one by one. It sits naked and bleeding in the cold wind. To any casual observer, the great bird looks like it is rapidly dying a miserable death. But the eagle is actually orchestrating its own glorious rebirth in complete secret. The painful process allows a brand new beak to slowly grow back stronger than before. Fresh feathers emerge to carry the bird higher into the sky. The brave eagle gains another 40 years of magnificent flight. You have been sitting on your own lonely mountain lately. You felt completely stripped of your beautiful feathers and left naked in the freezing wind. You looked in the mirror and thought you were simply growing tired and old. But let me tell you the absolute divine truth right now. You were never aging. You were molting. You were shedding the heavy damage of your painful past so you could finally soar again. The blazing fire did not consume you. The dark cocoon did not suffocate you. The lonely mountain did not break your spirit. Every single element worked together to forge a masterpiece that heaven can finally use for a grand purpose. The Master Creator looks at your glowing soul today and sees a fully integrated spiritual warrior. Your epic transformation is almost entirely complete. You are ready to rule. The heavy armor fits your shoulders perfectly now. The grand universe is extremely proud of your quiet resilience in the dark. And once you embrace this magnificent epic reality, you are ready for the final truth. Coming up next, I will expose the last remaining obstacle. I will reveal the one hidden thing still blocking your path. But first, you must let this epic revelation settle deep into your bones. The external warfare is finally coming to a complete end. You have successfully navigated the darkest valleys. You faced the absolute worst the enemy could throw at you, and through it all you never lost your pure heart. Heaven watched you bless the people who cursed your name while you were bleeding. You passed the ultimate test of character. The spiritual realm is officially aligning in your favor right now. The massive doors that were firmly sealed for years are quietly unlocking. You can almost feel the heavy hinges turning in the unseen world. Opportunities that felt impossibly far away are rapidly moving toward your front door today, because heaven is actively rewarding your quiet faithfulness. You are no longer chasing your breakthrough, it is hunting you. Every single tear you cried has been collected and weighed. The universe never wastes a single drop of your profound pain. It uses that heavy sorrow to water the seeds of your incredible future while you sleep in total exhaustion. And now the harvest is fully ripe and ready to be gathered. You are standing on the absolute precipice of a completely new spiritual reality. The waiting room is closed. You can sense this grand arrival deep in your bones. The heavy atmosphere has shifted from intense pressure to a beautiful expectation. The sky is clearing above your weary head. The spiritual storms that battered your life for decades are slowly running out of rain, and the dark clouds are finally parting to reveal the brilliant sun. You survived the terrible flood. The magnificent rainbow is finally appearing. The royal mantle is hovering just inches above your shoulders. The heavy crown of authority is ready to be gently placed upon your head. Heaven is holding the massive blessing directly in front of your tired eyes, waiting for you to reach out and simply take what belongs to you. Everything you prayed for is sitting right here. But there is a strange pause. The divine delivery is completely ready to drop. The external enemy has been fully defeated and banished from your immediate path. The toxic people who used to drain your energy have been completely removed from your daily life, so they cannot steal your joy. The external wilderness is totally empty. Yet the ultimate breakthrough is still hovering just slightly out of your reach. Time is freezing. Why is there a delay when everything is perfectly aligned? Why is the grand manifestation waiting at the door without turning the handle? You have asked yourself these painful questions every single night this week while staring at the dark ceiling of your quiet bedroom. You searched the sky for answers. You thought you missed a hidden step. But the answer is not out there. The final lock keeping this blessing hovering is not an external demon. It is not the timing of the universe playing cruel tricks on you. Heaven is not withholding this massive reward to teach you another harsh lesson, because your training season is already completely finished and officially graded. The universe actually wants to give this to you right now. The delay is different. We must look very closely at the final obstacle. This is the part of the journey that nobody ever wants to talk about. It requires absolute honesty to finally cross this ultimate finish line, and you must be willing to confront a very uncomfortable truth about yourself today. You have to look deeply into your own spiritual mirror. The thing blocking you is subtle. It hides inside. But here is the unexpected twist that you likely did not anticipate. I am about to expose the deepest hidden root. It is keeping the blessing suspended in the air. Once you finally see this hidden block clearly, the grand manifestation will immediately drop into your open hands without any further delay. Coming up next, we will walk into the hardest truth. Let your spirit prepare itself. And here is the part that no one ever wants to say out loud. I speak these words to you today with absolutely nothing but profound love. This is not an accusation meant to make you feel guilty. It is the loving diagnosis that will finally set your soul free. Because while you were busy fighting the external demons for all these years, a subtle fear quietly took root deep inside your own heart. The real block is not the enemy. You have been secretly afraid of your own massive power. You spent your life dimming your brilliant light just to keep others comfortable. You learned that being fully alive always attracted heavy attacks, so you created a safe box to hide your spiritual gifts. And even though you pray constantly for heaven to release the ultimate blessing, a quiet part of your mind is completely terrified of receiving it. You fear standing in your full authority. You are scared that the new mantle will be too heavy to carry. You fear losing the few people who still tolerate your presence. Because if you step completely into this massive abundance today, you will permanently outgrow the comfortable environment that kept you hidden. This hidden fear is the invisible chain holding you back. You agreed with smallness because it always felt safe. But heaven cannot pour an ocean into a tiny teacup. Every time you doubt your worth, you delay the divine delivery. The universe is simply honoring the boundaries you subconsciously set. It waits respectfully until you decide that you are finally ready to expand. You are the one keeping the door locked from the inside. And while you ask heaven why the miracle is taking so long, heaven is waiting for you to turn the key. You must release this subtle fear. Do not feel ashamed of this internal block. It was a survival mechanism that kept you safe in the dark wilderness. When the world was hostile, hiding your true power kept you alive. Your mind was just trying to protect your heart from more rejection. But you are no longer surviving in the dangerous wilderness. You are crossing over into the promised land right now, and holding onto those old survival tactics will absolutely suffocate you in this new realm of abundance. It is time to take off the heavy armor of self-protection. You do not need to hide your brilliant frequency from the world anymore. The people who cannot handle your light are supposed to leave. Let them walk away. Their departure is never a tragic loss. It is the final clearing of the runway so your destiny can take flight. Finally, stop apologizing for the immense spiritual weight you carry. When you do this, the universe responds by pouring out the beautiful reward it held back. You have carried the heavy burden of being misunderstood for far too long. You played the role of the quiet scapegoat so others could feel comfortable. But that painful season of acting small is officially over today. You are a massive spiritual force. And while heaven commands you to step into the blinding light, you must give yourself absolute permission to shine without any apologies. The final lock is completely inside your own mind, and the only key that can open it is your own spoken authority. You have to break the internal agreement with fear. You must declare your readiness to the entire unseen realm. And now comes the critical juncture where absolutely everything shifts, because you are finally ready to accept the royal mantle. I will give you the exact words to shatter these chains. This is the moment your entire life has been building toward. Every tear, every lonely night, and every painful rejection led you directly to this sacred space. You survived the wilderness. You passed the test in the dark, and while you stand on the absolute edge of this massive breakthrough, heaven is handing you the pen to write the final chapter of this waiting season. Coming up next, we will make the ultimate declaration. Prepare your heart. This is your moment. You do not have to wait for tomorrow or until you feel completely ready. The grand universe has brought you to this exact second to break the final chain holding you back. Right now, you have carried the heavy weight of broken people for far too long. The waiting season is officially over today. Heaven is standing at absolute attention. I need you to do something very specific for me today. Wherever you are right now, take a slow and deep breath. Place your right hand firmly over your own heart. I want you to feel the steady rhythm beating inside your chest. That beautiful heartbeat is the living proof that you survived every single dark attack the enemy planned against your life. You are going to speak these sacred words out loud with me. Your physical voice carries massive spiritual authority today. And when you speak directly into the heavy atmosphere, the unseen realm has absolutely no choice but to obey your royal command. Do not whisper this powerful truth. Speak it with the firm conviction of a chosen one who finally knows their immense worth. Declare this with me right now. I completely release the painful need to be needed by everyone else. I break every silent agreement I ever made with lingering fear. I refuse to shrink my brilliant light just to keep the broken people around me comfortable anymore. I am officially done playing a small role in a grand universe. I release the trauma. Take another deep breath. Keep your hand firmly on your chest and continue the decree. I boldly step into my divine assignment today. I finally understand that my isolation was an epic preparation and never a cruel punishment. I accept the heavy royal mantle that heaven carefully placed upon my weary shoulders before I was even born. I am truly ready. Declare the final powerful truth into the open air. My ultimate breakthrough is not delayed. It is not waiting for a better season to arrive. It is already here. I fully open my spirit to receive the massive blessing that heaven prepared specifically for my glorious future. I am exactly where I am supposed to be. I am a highly calibrated weapon. Feel the massive spiritual shift happening in your room right now. The heavy burden pressing against your ribs for weeks is suddenly lifting off your tired chest. You just cancelled the enemy assignment with your own spoken voice. The invisible chains lying completely broken on the cold floor will never wrap around your beautiful soul again. The ancient lock is completely shattered. Heaven just permanently sealed your powerful declaration. The divine angels are actively rushing to deliver the exact physical manifestation you just authorized with your own tongue. You do not have to beg or cry in the dark wilderness anymore. You simply have to walk forward knowing the divine decree is permanently established in the spiritual realm. Nothing can stop this incredible momentum. Your spiritual frequency is completely free from the old human constraints. The toxic people who walked away can never access your new level of abundance. You are vibrating at a completely different and untouchable altitude today. And as you shine, the dark forces are scattering because they cannot withstand the brilliant light pouring out of your open spirit. This profound emotional catharsis is the ultimate reward for your quiet endurance. You survived the desolate and lonely wilderness. You passed the brutal tests in the absolute dark without losing your pure heart. And now you finally get to wear the heavy crown you earned. The universe celebrates your incredible transition from the broken victim into the integrated warrior. You might feel a sudden rush of peaceful tears right now. Let them fall. Those warm tears are simply washing away the last traces of your old identity. You are standing fully in the blazing light. And as this massive blessing manifests in your daily life, we must look at how you will carry it forward. Now that the ultimate declaration is spoken, something profound is permanently shifting inside your soul. The massive energy you just released is not going to simply fade away when you wake up tomorrow morning. It is deeply settling into your spiritual bones like solid bedrock. You are stepping into the beautiful integration phase today. The wild storms of the heavy wilderness are completely over. You are finally walking on solid ground. You will notice a massive difference in how you carry yourself this week. Situations that used to trigger intense anxiety will suddenly feel incredibly small and entirely powerless against your new frequency. The toxic people who try to test your boundaries will immediately hit a solid brick wall. You will no longer absorb the heavy chaos of the broken world around you. Your brilliant light is an absolute shield. You must understand what this new frequency actually means for your immediate future. You are no longer desperately chasing after physical blessings or human validation. When your internal vibration perfectly matches the grand frequency of heaven, the physical universe has absolutely no choice but to bring you everything you truly desire. The beautiful opportunities will effortlessly gravitate toward your quiet presence. There is a vast, invisible network of chosen ones waking up all across the globe right now. You honestly thought you were the only person experiencing this intense spiritual isolation. But there is an entire global tribe of incredibly sensitive souls who are walking this exact same lonely path. They are sitting in their quiet rooms wondering why they feel so entirely disconnected from normal human society. Some profound messages do not just inform the tired mind, they actively shift the spiritual atmosphere and bring massive healing to completely shattered hearts. If this powerful truth met you in the exact dark place where you needed it most, you must help heaven amplify this brilliant light. Share this message with someone who has always been called too sensitive. Send it to the beautiful soul who feels completely misunderstood today. When you share this divine truth, you become a massive beacon of hope for another weary traveler. You are throwing a strong lifeline to a chosen one who is currently drowning in the heavy spiritual decline effect. They desperately need to hear that their painful isolation is actually a glorious divine preparation. They need absolute confirmation that the heavy weight on their chest is an epic spiritual activation. Heaven closely watches how freely you distribute the beautiful light you receive. When you actively help another person break out of their dark cocoon, your own magnificent wings grow infinitely stronger in the spiritual realm. The grand universe loves to pour massive resources through human hands that remain completely open. You accelerate your own abundant harvest when you bravely plant seeds of hope in another broken garden. This is a crucial part of your massive new assignment. You were never meant to hoard the divine wisdom inside a locked vault. You were specifically chosen to be a powerful conduit of radical healing for a very tired world. Every time you validate the deep spiritual experiences of another sensitive soul, you destroy a massive stronghold of the defeated enemy. You are actively building the brand new kingdom of light. The intense spiritual battle was never just about your individual survival. It was always about preparing you to lead an entire generation of chosen ones completely out of the dark wilderness. And as you fully embrace this incredible communal purpose today, the remaining shadows in your own mind will permanently scatter. You are standing shoulder to shoulder with an invisible army of fully integrated warriors. The intense season of holy preparation is officially complete today. Everything you bravely endured in the dark was never wasted. It was carefully building your massive spiritual capacity for the future. You are no longer the misunderstood victim wandering in the dark, and the fragile old version of you could never have survived the profound spiritual weight of this massive new blessing. You are standing completely secure on the other side of the storm. The heavy spiritual warfare that exhausted your mind for years is finally over. You do not have to fiercely fight the unseen shadows anymore. You simply get to rest in the beautiful healing light. And the chaotic noise of the normal world is finally fading into the distant background as you step into your ultimate destiny today. Your incredible breakthrough is not slowly coming toward you anymore. It is already moving through your physical space right now. The massive doors of divine favor are permanently locked open for you, and absolutely nobody on this earth possesses the spiritual authority to shut a massive door that heaven specifically opened for your destiny. Tomorrow morning you are going to wake up feeling entirely different. The familiar heavy weight on your tired chest will be completely gone. You will open your eyes and feel a profound peace settling deep into your bones, and your physical body will finally understand that the dangerous survival mode is officially turned off forever because you are entirely safe. You must leave the heavy baggage of the painful wilderness behind you. Do not look back at the broken relationships that heaven deliberately severed. Those closed doors were absolute divine protection designed to keep your new frequency completely pure. You are walking boldly forward into a massive new season of endless spiritual abundance and crystal clear purpose starting today. Every time you felt like you were too much for this world, heaven was actually taking accurate measurements for your royal crown. The immense depth of your soul is not a tragic flaw. It is the exact capacity required to hold the massive glory of your new assignment. You were always meant to stand out from the comfortable crowd. You were beautifully born for this exact moment. The entire universe is standing in total awe of your quiet resilience. You carried the heavy cross when nobody else was watching your silent tears. You held the pure light steady when the raging wind tried to blow it out. And because you remained incredibly faithful in the absolute dark, heaven is trusting you with the highest level of massive spiritual authority. Let the deep peace of the grand universe wash over your weary spirit right now. Breathe out the heavy exhaustion of the past 10 long years. You do not need to constantly protect your soft heart from invisible enemies anymore. The Supreme Creator is building a massive wall of divine fire around your entire life, so you are completely covered and securely held. You are finally stepping into the beautiful reality of your true identity. You are no longer an isolated orphan wandering aimlessly through a hostile world. You belong to a massive global family of fully integrated spiritual warriors, and your unique divine frequency is the exact healing medicine this deeply broken world desperately needs to experience right now. You are completely ready for this grand assignment. We are building a massive sanctuary for chosen ones exactly like you. Subscribe to this channel right now and turn on all of your notifications. You must ensure you never miss the next divine revelation about who you really are. The dark system is systematically trying to bury these profound spiritual truths. But together, we are actively amplifying the brilliant spiritual light so the entire broken world can finally see the absolute truth. Your massive spiritual assignment starts right here and right now. Leave a comment below declaring your absolute readiness to receive this massive blessing. Share this exact message with another beautiful soul crying in the lonely dark. You are the true chosen one, you are deeply loved by the grand Creator, and you are exactly where you are supposed to be in this beautiful divine timeline.